Can't get the settings right on the camera, so I thought I'd just have some fun with it. What the heck? There's all kinds of crazy effects, right? I guess this is as good as any of them. Why not? Whee! What color will she be? Shall we take some color out? Okay, whatever. It's just a body, folks. It ain't me. Okay. Um, it's been and continues to be an intense time. Let's see, I think it's still the 10th. Yeah, this is the 10th of December. And things maybe are letting up, but not just a whole lot. I sense that we're making a lot of breakthroughs, and the celestial ones that are working with us, the teams of light that our physical eyes don't let us see, are helping us to push the envelope. Because, in our hearts, in our souls, we really want to do that. We are the light beings, the ones who came in bearing the light. And we plant ourselves like a flag in the earth and say, this place is for us. Thus far and no farther. The darkness is going down. Well, that's why our lives aren't so easy, you know. If we came into this like a vacation, we wouldn't be in the challenges that we're in. So we don't need to wear our challenges like a badge of honor necessarily, but we don't need to get too borne down under them either. We tend to do that when we forget who and what we are and what we're about. It's quite a wonder, that we've made it this far and that we're doing as well as we are. The way we're linking up online is so beautiful. I have got some of the most wonderful subscribers on the planet, man. And we're just a cross-section of light beings. We're not a cross-section of everyone, because you're not even going to find everyone interested in what I dish up here. Okay, but we are a cross-section of light beings. And there's great strength, and not just strength, but peace in our numbers, in our joining up. It's not the numbers. It's seeing the self in one another, realizing that everything that's happening, when we were isolated and separate, we used to think it was personal. We took it like it was a personal failing, or we were screwed up, or we just came from the rottenest. It was a mess. We were at the mercy of the mind, which is in the particle state. It separates things out into bits and parts and pieces and things. But we're linking up now, and we're stepping into the wave state more and more, where we're just drops in the one ocean. It's really interesting. One day I want to do a journal, maybe several, on the oneness and the individuality, and how those are the two sides of one coin. I've been noticing how people mean, oh my God, such different things when they talk about oneness. And it's gotten a bad rap with this whole one world government thing, and new world order, and all that kind of thing, and it's gotten people scared of linking up and getting together. And with good cause. I mean, whatever organizations we form, it seems like they get infiltrated. The closer we get to light and truth, it's just been the way of the dark side to put out the disinfo, to join under cover of protecting or caring for us, or being one of us, and to just mess things up. And for a very long time, they've gotten away with it. But our consciousness is rising so much and so fast now. I believe we've gone beyond, what do I want to call it? There's a tipping point that we've reached, and we've gone past it, and we can't be shoved back down anymore. Once you see a thing, that thing is castrated. Sure, if it's something that you've a tendency you've worked with through many lifetimes and it's still with you, it's not like seeing it one time is just going to make it go away forever. But seeing it one time will castrate it. And so when it comes up the next time, it doesn't have that power anymore to deceive. And quicker and quicker, you'll be onto it and stepping up and out of it. I mean, we all have bad days. We will get pulled down into these momentums again and again. That's no big deal, you know. When we get to taking ourselves too seriously, it seems like it's a big deal, and we want to get sad and depressed and give up and all that garbage, that nonsense. And that's more programming, okay? We have lots of programming on board, and honey, I hate to tell you this, but we have lots of energetic implants too. ET implants. They aren't just physical. There are ways, you know. A lot of these things we're even born with. Uh, there are energy patterns and things that get woven into the DNA somehow. We're not yet in a position to be able to see and analyze and understand these things. And I'm not worried about it because I'm not in the mind anymore. I'm not interested in laying it out and dissecting it and picking it apart into its bits and pieces, lining them all up neatly, and then starting to manipulate. That is mind's way, and it's a bummer. You know, it's not useful for spiritual things. It's very useful in its own realm, but not for what we're doing here. It's really not. It just gets in the way. So, where am I going with this? Well, maybe I'll just talk about the oneness thing now. I was going to read a journal, and I will, but maybe not now. When I say words, I don't necessarily mean what most everybody else on earth means by those words. And that's why it's good sometimes to see them written, like in the transcript. Because when I say love, it's a capital L, and it's got nothing to do with what 99% of folks think is love. That's not love, that's manipulation and control. You know, that's how do I get my way, and how do I make myself happy, and or it's conditional love. That's just nothing, absolutely nothing to do with divine love. And joy, I'll capitalize that, peace. There's a neat little line in the Bible, the peace that passeth understanding. And when I capitalize peace, that's what I mean. It's divinity. We have divinity flowing in, through, and around us. And when we go into heart, that's the portal for that. That's where we contact that. And so when I'm talking about oneness, we have to get up and off the surface and out of the mind in order to tune into that. I think maybe the closest thing in words would be where Muji takes it. When you, identity, who am I, is, I think, the most wonderful question for inquiry, for self-inquiry. Who am I? What am I? And it's a lot of fun to do it with somebody so masterful like Muji, who is so in presence that he spots a phony in a minute. He reads the vibe, and he knows when you're in mind, and he shuts it down, and he brings you again and again back into presence, back into your now, what's real for you right here, right now. And only when you go there can you begin to contact this oneness Because when you look for self, believe it or not, you're not going to find it. You're not going to find anything that you can point to or even capture in words. The closest, maybe, probably, would be consciousness or awareness. But spend some time with Muji. Or, there's a lot of sites that have Muji clips on them. You can also just go to my YouTube playlist, and I've got 30 or 40 clips together in a Muji playlist. And you can just set that running, but feel free to pause it. Don't, I hope you never sit down and just go through a playlist all the way through like that. I mean, maybe your heart calls you to do it. That's possible. Anything is possible. And always do what your heart says. Let your heart trump anything and everything in life. I don't care if it's the president of the U.S. or of the world. Your heart has to be your true authority. This new reality oncoming puts us in the driver's seat. Maybe little grandmother says it best. She says, you are God and Goddess. You are Tukashila. You are the I am, the great I am. And you bow before nothing. And so, and lest anyone think that's arrogant, this can only be done in abject humility. Because absent that humility, this light will not flow through you. It's not that it won't. It's not that it's stuck up. It's that ego blocks it. The light is always flowing, but it needs a clear conduit. When you go to somebody's video and you sit and you listen and you feel the energy flowing through, what's happened is that person's gotten out of the way of the light. And so the light can and will speak through you, through anyone, through all of us. I mean, this is what we're meant to do. We're meant to be energy conduits, light conduits. We're meant to be that through which light flows and is anchored here on earth and shared around. We're here to be that light in support of our brethren, because by anchoring it on the earth, we render service. We're strengthened in one another's light. When a light being passes through a room, everyone in it is blessed. And nobody's realizing this at the time, for the most part. People aren't aware, especially if we're in mind. Now, if you have a bunch of devotees of truth, beings of light on the spiritual path, okay, we're more aware. We always get a readout, my friends, on the energy that's around us. Always. In the room, in the people, in what's being said at any point in time. We are beings of great light. We have tremendous capacities and abilities that we know not of in the conscious mind. And so that's why, that's another reason I believe so much in being the empty cup, in being in the no mind, in the emptiness, because mind can't conceive the greatness that we really are. And by mind trying to have a conception, it blocks the greatness from showing itself, because mind can't step up to that plate. But we find that as we, number one, step out of mind, number two, step into heart, and number three, stay in humility, that light can and will flow through, and it will amaze us. It will amaze you, and it will amaze the people around you. And it's not just a sometimes or a rarely thing. It gets to be more and more and more until it becomes a way of life. It's like Dimitri Halley says, the miraculous becomes the everyday. And I've been saying that for a while as well. It is time for the working of miracles. This is not really miracles. It's just the physics of 4D and 5D. You know, it's not mumbo jumbo. It's not hocus pocus. It's not voodoo or witchcraft. I use the word magic, but I'm using it very lightly. I'm not talking about any kind of ceremonial magic or anything like that. But heart is a magical kingdom. And just look at the synchronicities all around you. That's the kind of thing I mean when I'm saying magic. So I don't mean to scare anybody away. Okay, so oneness. What is oneness? Maybe I won't try to force this into a container like mind is wanting to do with it. Maybe I'll just let it be what it is and complete itself. Hopefully, it's been at least somewhat helpful. Just being yourself, giving yourself room and freedom to just be, letting the breath of air, the wind of spirit blow and flow in, through, and around you, and between us and among us. We will ride the magic carpet of light into places that mind has no way of conceiving. So my best advice is daily, momentarily, hourly, every time you think of it, step out of mind and into heart. Not your physical heart. It's got nothing to do with the pump in your chest. Or maybe it has something. I don't know. I just know it's not the physical heart I'm talking about. I'm talking about centered in your chest. Somewhere roughly. You know, I'm not even saying anything specific. I don't get fancy with it. That's bits, parts, and pieces. I'm not into that. There's a flow, and you'll know. When you just keep putting your attention in your chest, your inner self knows what to do, knows where it is, and you will be guided. And you will just know things. And your body knows more than you do. Your body knows more than your mind does. You can trust it. Bagger Vance, what was that movie where the guy lost his authentic swing? I've watched that again and again, and I'm not one for movies. But it's so beautiful. The body knows. There's a knowing that we plug into and we flow along with. And it's got nothing to do with the 3D mental mind, with the brain. It's we're going into higher territory, and we don't know yet what we're morphing into, but it's magical and it's divine. And the more we get out of the mind, the more we allow that to be. I love you. Aho.